This video is called Hell. What is the wordplay around hell, and why does it definitively prove that this is hell? If you aren't able to remember that, if you don't write that down, at least watch this video 3 or 4 times. Hell, heel well, he well, right? Your heel, your Achilles heel. L, lie, lay, and low. Okay, it has everything to do with rape. People are L. They don't live in reality, and as a result, they have sex in ways that they wouldn't naturally do. They wouldn't do if they had the highest standard of morality, which is basically rape. It's based on the illusion, illusion, gotten gains, right? Lie, lay, and low. The arrow pointing down. They're building toward the earth, toward being a cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller, so to speak, without being cannibals. Hell, heel, hell, he will, L, he'll be L, when he lies, to lie, when he lays, when he has sex with people in the Luciferian energy of being a low down, no, dog. And again, you get that by the interchangeable vowels, okay, where you get low backwards. Remember, it also goes back to formula, a set form of words for use in a ceremony or ritual, also as an established rule or custom. This is the custom. This is part of the culture, to conceal things using psychology, wordplay, distraction, right? TV, how often do people watch TV, and so on and so forth. Sports with the feminine suffix, the T. Okay, now before I explore this video, I want you to think of 2 things. 1, psychology is not compatible with martial arts. Not true Sun Temple, pure masculine, Horus's right eye is the sun, his left eye is the moon, in terms of virtuous women, women with morality, women that submit to righteous men, right? When we're having sex, for example, when you're making love, you're not arguing about who's on top and this. She submits to him. It's known. There is no kind of superficial psychological gathering. Hey, last time you were, how about, no. It is just naturally how it flows from the heart. Okay, so psychology and true martial arts, marshaling in the true spirit of the creator, are not compatible. Martial arts has to do with mental conditioning, combat skills, and being honest with yourself, living in reality. Psychology is about reinforcing social norms, even admitting that 1 in 5 CEOs, 20% of CEOs are psychopaths. Even admitting that, and still reinforcing the social norms that come from corporations, ultimately. Marketing campaigns, propaganda. It's about downplaying that psychological warfare on record was a part of the Cold War. And we still have a Cold War with Russia, in case you haven't noticed. Watch RT. Watch how they talk about the new weapons they have and so on. The training, the joint military exercise with China, with Russia. Okay, pay attention. Psychology is about pretending there is no propaganda campaign. There is no psychological warfare on citizens. That we landed on the moon, okay, during a time when we were advancing psychological warfare, and not just that form of science, physics, and what have you, okay, rocket science, etc. Okay, but advancing psychological techniques for social control, and pretending that we haven't advanced and that there aren't psychological operations here, and if people claim they are, they're mentally ill. Psychology is dishonor, it is worldly, it is evil, it is probably the determinant in why the world is so evil, because it has to do with convincing people to play their roles in society, and there's a sexual element, a component to social control. And people are basically role-playing so that the people in charge can indulge in their fetishes, okay? Society is like one big porno where the sex scenes just don't always play out in public view, okay? That's the best way to describe how things work, really. And of course, millions of people are murdered and suffering and die, okay? 3 billion people live on less than $3 a day. And I still have trouble convincing people, because they're in such an extreme state of denial, that it's wrong to be a gold digger. It's wrong to be hypergamous. It is a positive trait for survival, but not for truly evolving spiritually and as a human being. Okay. The truth hurts. Part of the reason, okay, also, I wanted to make the other distinction is that when I say that white people are racist, you know, I don't always mean that they're the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan exists so that white people who are cultural imperialists, who don't necessarily have a problem with a few token minorities living in their neighborhood, as long as it's a white heavy culture and white people are the role models. It's kind of like the artwork, the paintings, okay, you know, the cartoons, Superman. White people are seen as the most desirable and sexy and clean and worthy mates, you know, and they control finances. They have $100 on average for every $3 that a black family has. They don't have a problem with that per se, okay? But they don't want to be compared to the Ku Klux Klan. They do have a problem with lynching black people unfairly in a way that is not consistent with their cultural imperialism. Okay, so that distinction has to be made. Some of them mean a little bit more well than others. There's a spectrum of racism here, and almost all people are racist. And in this case, in the case of America, white people's form of racism is the most harmful. So we look at the word brave. The wordplay shows us that be ra vi, okay, versus what it means to be a pure E. The E is not just the gender neutral Baphomet. It's not just the worldly and so on. What the pure E is rape. Rape backwards, where the A is replaced with the U, is E pure, right? And E pair. To truly be an E is to uphold this rape culture, which involves drugging, substance abuse. Roofies and Mickeys aren't the only drugs that make people intoxicated and vulnerable to rape. Alcohol is not the only drugs. Illicit street drugs aren't the only drugs people use to take advantage of people to get them to prostitute themselves. Psych meds have everything to do with that. Okay, period. And in this book it says it takes 66 days to form a habit. Right? Part of psychology is using occult numbers to explain things. Okay, even that 1 in 5 CEOs are psychopaths. How did they come to this number? Yes, there's truth in that, but why this number? How did they come to that? You know, color increases brand recognition by 80%. Yes, it's a color-coded society. What does that mean for people who are, you know, different colors, right? Colored people, if you will. What does that mean for them? Okay, what does that mean for them when people watch these cartoons and are brainwashed into thinking that people who aren't black are attractive, right? They watch these cartoons with white heroes and so on and so forth. Okay, and if there's colored people in the cartoons, it's almost certainly women who are attractive, you know, like Pocahontas being made heroes or something. What does that mean? How does that a child develop, you know, and so on. So when we look at this thing, right, the truth hurts, and it's part of the reason people are cowards. If you are afraid of disrupting people's psychological state and you don't want to think about these things, it's a form of being a coward, okay? You have to man up and accept these truths and think about what is the honorable way to handle these problems. Okay. So when we look at being bravery, right, you have to be yourself. All right. And rave. So be rave. Be yourself and rave. Remember, when you truly live in reality, the way things work, the rape culture, the murders, the people starving, the mass druggings, the abuse, makes you want to go on and on about, hey, these guys are scum and scum. And that's going to lead you to mental health, to the people that uphold the social norms of scum, all those psychologists and mental health workers dressing all sexy, walking like in a cat-like manner, taunting the victims of this process to make them subtly. One of the applications of this is to subtly make them want to conform to increase the chances that they can have sex with someone like that. And also when we look at this thing, right, you get leading to one being of orb. O-V-O-R-B. Brave backwards with interchangeable vowels, vowel to L. This is a formula to isolate people one at a time, the wordplay in general, that is, and cause their torture and or deaths. They don't want people to rally to the top martial artist who is the rally point. He is the standard for the ideal man, the moral man. He is the rally point. Instead, they want people to see themselves as knights, right? Darkness connotation, Dark Knight, Batman, right? This kind of evil face, right? He's a hero, but he's not. He's really not. And it's subtly there. I don't have time to explore that. Okay, so formula, a set form of words for use in a ceremony or ritual, also as an established rule or custom. Okay, there is an overwhelming amount of evidence that the corporate agreed and sponsored system is about rape and controlling reproduction. The evidence is overwhelming. Okay, who gets the women and why? If you see an airhead chewing gum, in the passenger seat of some rich ninny's car, right? The car is a form of illusion to present himself some way, to represent himself in a way that he's not. Is he that fast car? Does he think fast? Is he fast? Is he a sports car, right? Is he sporty, right? Does he have a sportsman figure? No. He lives in an illusion. He's taken advantage of a system that it's a rape culture. It has to do with drugs and murder. There are a lot of beta in the ruling families, and the bullies are their muscles, their dogs, if you will, to them, and they are the Hades figures, ideas holding the dogs. Okay. The chastisement must fit the crime. Chase eyes men, right? There's a lot of, I don't have time to explore that. You can figure it out one way or another. This video requires you to think. Gang stalking has proven that it is the end of the martial arts, and on top of everything else. Why? Because martial arts are about honor. We do not see martial artists stepping forward to the plate and saying, hey, now is our time to stand firm and to expose psychological warfare. They're complicit. They're part of the psychological construct. Like I said at the beginning of this video, psychology and martial arts aren't compatible. Oppression and rape cultures aren't compatible with martial arts. Illusion as a philosophy is not compatible with martial arts. Okay, even in the video games we see that. Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung, he's a wizard. He's an illusionist. He's one of the main bad guys in Mortal Kombat 1. Okay, even in popular culture, the kids understand that. This is a world where you cannot even share videos of political dissidents that are uncontrolled without being targeted and for harassment and being played out and having, being blacklisted. Where psychological warfare on record is part of warfare, and we pretend that it doesn't exist, when people who are very obviously and very likely, if for nothing else, to be targets, are saying that they are. No one does anything. There's no investigation. No one lifts a finger. All right, they're quick to try to play them out using mental health, right? Psychology, psychiatrists, the rapist, the therapist. You think it's a coincidence? It's a rape culture. It's socially normative, and the therapist is a play on words for the rapist. I mean, it's stupid not to say. I mean, it's insane. Even the word serapis, which is where we get the illusion of Christ. If for nothing else, the commonly used image of Christ resembles serapis is a play on words for see rape eyes, or see rape is, see rape as, etc. All right. So earth is also a play on words for tri-e, backwards, right? The H is the fence. Rho-e, right? The teak is the plus, the feminine suffix. And that has to do with the solar blow. In what spirit, in what energy, in what idea are you moving versus the true spirit of God? Okay. There's a lot of other wordplay. I'm just going to skip over it. I'm going to show you it real briefly from the side of my notes if you care to examine it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, 0. You can hit me on Facebook at Chuku Haru. Some of my accounts have been frozen. One of them is active. You can tell which one is which by the posts. All right. So CHUKWU, 2 words, Haru, HARU. All right, art. The gay artist friendly. Okay, there's 4 major categories of martial arts we have today. 1 is the art, 2 is the family friendly, 3 is the beat up people as a culture and reinforcing the sex culture, 4 is self-defense. Let's explore what these martial arts do, right? These are the fake martial arts. All martial arts but mine are basically fake martial arts. Some people there are nice people. There's some pretty decent Asian people and so on, white people, and people from every race that do martial arts and have schools. Okay, but ultimately what they're doing is wrong, and they need to understand that, and they need to stop contributing to this rape culture, to this culture of dishonor. Art, the gay artist friendly is how I'll describe it, right? People will go there to study it, kind of women, liberals, gay artists, kind of with a ballerina kind of mentality, trying to get the moves right, trying to make it look good. Illusion, right? Art, illusion, artisan, and so on. Craft and craftiness. Anyway, family friendly schools and emphasis on competition built sparring forms. This has everything to do with capitalism, creating a middle-class fighting spirit, quote-unquote, reinforcing the idea that they don't have ill-gotten gains. Who do they teach, right? They teach the people with money who have conformed more to the culture to defend themselves from desperate people trying to steal to survive, for the most part. Now, there's more to it than that. I'm almost out of time. Beat up as a culture, MMA, kickboxing, sex culture, bar brawls, gang culture, police, military, are all compatible with this thing. They all can be grouped together. Self-defense, women. None of these guys are really concerned with defending the population are protesting dishonorably.